So here you see I'm getting ready for a Sesión Espiritual. We're going to have 5 people sitting around the table. A Sesión Espiritual is like a seance. And here we have las oraciones escogidas that we will pray during la sesión. We have our agua florida, our fuente, our campana. We have a cup where we will place flowers, el fuente con una cruz. So I'm just getting ready for una sesión espiritual or a spiritual seance. And this is the prayers that we use, las oraciones escogidas, agua florida. And this is the table just around where we will do la sesión. This is el santuario next to where we're going to do la sesión. Right here I have herbs that I have prepared with agua florida, cascarilla. This is so everyone salutes their spirits, una maraca, una campana. El fuente, this one has alumbre in it. La velita, holy water, el santísimo. When we cleanse in front of the altar, we have this palangana here to pick up the water. So this is for our sesión. So right here you see el pan espiritual, the spiritual bread, and I'm using Puerto Rican sweet bread, pan sobao, y pan de agua. I'm going to make some coffee. I got some queso de papa. I got some guava paste. I have some butter. I have instant because I'm going to probably be tired by the end of the night. Chocolate, which I make with milk. I got some galletas. I'm going to make some coffee. The first one, here's a plate para la negrita, because this is in honor of la negrita. So I got to make sure that I prepare un platito for her first. But this is just to feed the guests, you know, which is just 5 people that are coming for the sesión. And I'm going to make un sancocho. Sancocho is like a stew, a Puerto Rican stew. But we have pan, Puerto Rican pan, eso, asabao de agua, queso de papa, pasta de guayaba, mantequilla, butter. We're not going to eat that. Chocolate, abuelita, y galletitas, y you got to get the coffee ready. Make some white rice. Make sure la negrita gets fed first. Whenever I have a sesión espiritual, whether it's a sesión, a velada, or a misa espiritual, we make sure we feed our guests. Bread is, you know, this is the el pan espiritual, the spiritual bread. We got to make sure that everyone is grounded after la sesión. By grounding oneself, we are also protecting ourselves and placing back energy into our body, the energy that we may have utilized during la sesión espiritual. So again, this is el pan Puerto Rican bread, el asobao y el pan de agua, and I'm going to make some white rice y un poquito de sancocho, just to make sure that everyone's fed and grounded at the end of la sesión. We also, when we do a sesión, we also cleanse and purify. Sesión is like a spiritual seance. So we got our carbón, we got somewhere to burn it in, and we got, of course, our incenso, and I think this is copal. I'm gonna get some dragon's blood. This is alumbre, and alumbre I place in los fuentes espirituales when I do a sesión. So any incense bowl will do, doesn't matter. Some will have incense censers. Everyone does it different. Of course, I have incense censers, but I'm just going to use this glass crystal bowl with white rice para la abundancia. And I have my charcoal ready and my incenses. And this is to fumigar everyone that comes. The rice will make sure that the glass doesn't get hot. It'll absorb the heat. By each door, I place un jarro con camphor and alumbre to pick up any negative vibrations. So I place one in the front door and one in the back door. This is the back door. This gets rid of at the end of the night. This is just to pick up any negative vibrations that we may pick up in the house. We might work la causa. But this is just to absorb any negative vibration from entering into la casa, into my hogar. And again, This is Camphor y alumbre, and I place one of these in front of the door, front door and the back door, and I place un Camphor in the four corners of the house for a sesión espiritual. This is the front door, okay, it's got Camphor, alumbre, el agua, los bastones, y el agua espiritual lives right here. This is where el agua espiritual lives. And this is the front of the house, and this is where my agua espiritual, that's where he lives. Whenever I do a sesión espiritual, I make sure to cover all the mirrors. Mirrors are doorways into the worlds of spirits. So I take a white cloth. It's a mirror. It's a long one. And I make sure that I cover all the mirrors in the house. Make sure that that does not fall. Probably pin it in. Remember, mirrors are portals, doorways into the world of the spirit. And you don't want no negative spirits coming into the house. And you want to protect the home. Here's my television. Anything that may show reflection, I cover. Anything that has a reflection might, remember, look at that, it's like a black mirror. Again, it could attract spirits. So even the television, I cover with a cloth. So that nothing stays stuck in the house or becomes a portal to the realm of the spirits. Since we are working con la negra, con la Madama, the first offering that we do in the session is for her. And these are some of my negritas. This is my Madama with her escoba. Okay. Para limpiar, para despojar. This is my Madama. She's preparada. These are my negritas. And we always make sure that the spirits eat first, since they are going to laborar espiritualmente. Here is another negrita, and she watches the door at the entrance to my house. She has her cafecito, her pan, and I perfume all the spirits down. Un poquito perfume to los espíritus. Get them freshened up para empezar a laborar espiritualmente. So I'm refreshing all my spirits in the house. Refreshing all the spirits for la sesión, since I am working con la negra, la Mamá Francisca, in this session espiritual. Okay, so here's la mesa. Right here's where we're going to put the flowers. The client we're doing the seance for, la sesión. Here's el fuente espiritual. I got to get the ashtray for los espíritus. This is a cup for if case the spirit wants something to drink, or whether it be liquor, coffee, whatever the spirit wants, it's going to go into that cup. And I have a bell here. El libro de oraciones escogida. This is my grandmother's. It's old. And we are ready for la sesión. We're just waiting for the client to come, bring the flowers and the offerings, el derecho, to the spirits. The Camphor brand that I, personally buy is this one right here. I mean, you can use any Camphor that you want. I get this at a local store here in Massachusetts. Refined Camphor. for religious use only. And I always have Camphor in the house for spiritual, for Veladas, Sesiones, Misas. This is good for removing negative vibrations, for cleansing, for purifying, for removing the evil eye. Each of these blocks has 4 tablets. Okay, and I always have a Camphor. Now, you can usually burn it Camphor. When you do burn Camphor, one of these blocks, remember that this throws a lot of smoke. You can burn it to remove any negative vibration, or you can crumble it up and put it in hot water and let the steam remove the negative vibration. I'm going to use one to show you how it looks like when it burns, but I'm going to do it outside because it does throw a lot of smoke. So if you cannot do this indoors and you cannot light it indoors, I wouldn't recommend lighting it indoors because it does throw off a lot of smoke. But I'm going to show you how an Camphor burns. And this is good for removing negative vibrations, negative entities, the evil eye. When you cleanse somebody, you can pass it around somebody. With your right hand, pass it around the person's body 3 times, saying a prayer, any prayer, and then lighting it up to remove the negative evil eye. But since we use this in Misas, this was just to absorb any negative entities or spirits that were in the house, and now I want to burn those and set them free. So I'm going to do this outside. Here's my candle, and here's a pot, and I have my Camphor. And remember, I'm going to do it outside because it ignites very quickly. And I'm going to carefully place it into that pot. And you can see it burns heavily and it throws a lot of smoke. This will remove any negative vibrations that it may have picked up. It's also good for cleansing to remove the evil eye and mal de ojo. So what I do is I leave it outside and let it burn out completely from all the negative vibrations that it may pick up. A lot of Spiritistas who live in Puerto Rico, they do burn the Camphor outdoors, and some who cannot use outdoors, who can't do it outside, they do put it in boiling water and let the water remove the negative vibrations, and I'll show you that as well. But you can see it just stays burning. And you let that burn completely out. Here's el Camphor. Do not do this indoors. Do not do this indoors because it throws a lot of smokes, and if you have a fire alarm, it's going to set them off. So do it outside. And let all that negative vibration burn away. As the Camphor starts melting, you can see it starts spreading. And I'm keep pausing the video because it could burn for 5 minutes. Here is el fuente that we use for the seance, for la sesión espiritual. I'm going to remove the cross. You can see that there's a lot of fluido there. A lot of people did cleanse themselves in front of this fuente. Se limpiaron, se despojaron. If you picked up any negative vibration, it was placed into this water. Tengo una campana, so I'm going to ring it. I'm going to take one of the Camphor that I had in the corner of the walls. I'm going to place it into the water. I don't know if you can see it. I'm going to burn all those negative vibrations from everyone that was in the house. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to burn it within the water with el Camphor. As that fire burns, it will burn away all the negative vibration within the water, and then I can get rid of, remove that, the flowers, then I can get rid of all the negative. You can see it burning, crackling. Remember, when you work with fire, be careful. Fire is very dangerous, especially in the house. Okay? Have much respect for the energy of fire within the house. Let that burn. It's crackling up all the negative vibration, but I don't want that right there in the center. There you go. It's picking up all the negative vibration within the center of el fuente. You can see that. It's in the water. And the Camphor is picking up all lo negativo, lo que no está positivo within the water. Remember that we use this fuente to cleanse, to pick up all the vibrations, para despojarnos. What it's doing is burning that out. Then I get rid of this water. All the fluidos in the fuente were the vibrations that people used. And you can see it just burns. I try to push it to the side. Be careful by pushing it to the side. Wrong item. And you can see Camphor just keeps burning. I want it to stay right there in the center. And again, be careful when burning anything in the house. This throws off a lot of smoke, as you can see. It's cleansing and purifying. When this goes out, I throw this water out. As you can see, it does throw out a lot of smoke. Place the, make sure that I don't burn those flowers. See, it actually takes a long time for that Camphor to burn out. When it completely burns out, I want to show you what it looks like. Then I throw this water out. You can flush it down the toilet, down the sink, or throw it outside. Burning for 10 minutes, and the water's cool. It's not hot. Just be careful not to burn myself. Okay, and it's starting to go out a little bit. I opened the back door because it was emitting a lot of smoke, but you can see that the Camphor is beginning to completely go down, and when that is down, I get rid of this water. Now, a lot of Spiritistas, they don't do this. They just throw the water out, they throw the Camphor out. This is just what I do. Not always, but I do it when there's a lot of energy that I personally may pick up, and the water's cool. You can see that, and if you're careful enough, you can maneuver it, and it's going out. Now I can get to throw this out. And it's out. Let me make sure. The next morning after a session, I like to gather the four Camphor the next morning, because usually we start a session. It depends. Sometimes I start a session around 7 o'clock at night and end it around 11 or around before 12 o'clock. I have a pot. You've seen this pot. You can see all the residue of all my herbs. This is what I use. You've seen this pot. I don't cook with this, but I fill it up with water. Fill it up with water, and I burn the rest of the Camphor. This is the residue of all my herbs. Well, herbs and camphor and all that. I don't use this to cook. I don't cook in this pot. So I fill it up completely. And I use both of the pots that I had around this, you know, the 2 pots by the door. So, and that should be filled. I like to fill it pretty much all the way. And if it's not, then I just add a little bit more water. And then I add the camphor when it's simmering, or you can see some old camphor right there. When it's simmering up or boiling. Here is my pot. And I put a lid in it. You can see it has the water. It's simmering. So now I'm going to place el camphor into the water. Now I can crush it up. This will remove negative vibrations from the house. It will purify the house. As the steam goes all over the house, the steams will get at every corner of the house. It will cleanse it. It will cleanse the air. You can crush it up with your hands or with a mortar and pestle. It's up to you. And this will definitely remove any negative vibrations from the house. And I just put it on top like so. This will remove all negative vibrations from the house, cleanse the house, purify the air. Here's our camphor, and I'm going to carefully light the top of el camphor, just to burn it, to cleanse, and to wash the house. And then I mix it into my water. You don't have to burn the fire. I mean, you don't have to burn the camphor. I just did it because I had those camphor at the corners of the wall. And by itself, the water, as the humidity goes up, all the negative vibrations goes into the atmosphere, into the air, and gets elevated. But this will cleanse and purify the house, wash away the house, cleanse and purify the air, and I just let it simmer completely. The house smells like camphor. I like it. So that's what I do at the ending of the night. I leave this on the whole day. At the ending of the night, I throw this out with my fuente waters, the waters in the goblets. People ask me if I use Ouija boards in my seances. No, I have not used a Ouija board since I was like a teenager. To me, that only attracts lower level vibrations. It attracts burlones. Burlones are mocking spirits, mocking entities. And serious espiritistas or mediums rarely, well, they don't. I've never seen any espiritista use an Ouija board to contact their spirit guides. So in case people ask me about that, no, I do not. So I just let this cleanse and purify the air, the atmosphere. We're in the winter here in Massachusetts, so the air is kind of dry and stale. This gets some humidity into the air, and it gets it in every crevice of the house, every corner of the house. It will purify the atmosphere. As the camphor burns or simmers, the vapor, the aroma of the vapor makes it uncomfortable for lower level vibrations. They don't like that aroma, and it drives them away. A little bit off topic, someone asked me the symbolism of butterflies and moths. Are butterflies viewed as symbols of maybe our dead, our ancestors? And are moths demonic? Well, that depends on the culture. And this is a little bit off the topic, but I just wanted to add this to it. It depends on the culture, and it depends on each person's personal view. Some people see snakes as magical. Some people see snakes as demonic. Some people see spiders as protective. Some people are creeped out about it. Me personally, I see butterflies as a symbol. You can see them as a symbol of communicating with your ancestors. They are of resurrection, of life after death, of transformation. Butterflies are, they tend to fly out during the day and are associated with the element of the sun. They move around with the sun. Moths are nocturnal creatures, and anything that is nocturnal, I've noticed, has gotten a bad rep, with Christian religions and the influence of Christian traditions. And I've also seen people who view moths as a demonic entity. This depends on the person. One thing that you got to notice about the moth is that they do symbolize vulnerability. And one thing you ever notice that when you turn on a light outside in the summer, a moth will fly and it will try to get into that light no matter what. And I've also noticed some moths flying into fire and dying. They will do anything they can to get into that light. So that could be a symbol of vulnerability, which is not always a bad thing, but it could also be a symbol of an ancestor who is trying, or a spirit guide who is trying to reach the light. Remember that in Espiritismo, we try to tend to send lower level vibrations into the light. So a moth can be seen as a spiritual entity or an omen of a spirit around your cuadro espiritual, your spiritual frame, that needs to go into the light. It is vulnerable. It is stuck in between the in-between. Okay, so again, some people might call moths demonic. Some people will say it has nothing to do with anything. This depends on the person, but remember, they are nocturnal creatures. They fly towards the energy of the moon, okay? And they always search light. And if you ever see in the summer, they will do whatever they can. When you turn on a light, they will like bang into the light bulb trying to get into that light, which could represent a lower level entity or a spirit that is trying to get into the light. So I just wanted to add that to that. But again, when I'm burning camphor or simmering camphor, the vapors makes it uncomfortable for lower level energies to reside within the home. And it cleanses and it purifies the home. So this is the last of the camphor from La Sesion. I'm going to let this simmer for the rest of the day. And then at the end of the night, I'm going to get rid of this and close this video. So you can see it's a cold winter day here in Massachusetts. And here's the waters from the fuente. And I want to get rid of them. So out they go. This is the hot boiling water. And out it goes into the atmosphere. Usually in the summer it's better because the sun will, as the steam rises, so will all the negative vibrations from the home. Hope you enjoyed this video. This is Sancista Brujo Luis. Santo Sanse. I'm going to sweep this up now. Hope you enjoyed. See the steam going up? That's the negative vibration from the house being picked up, absorbed into the earth, and the steam will absorb up into the sky. Hope you enjoyed this video. This is Sancista Brujo Luis, Santo Sanse. Fuera. Sancista Brujo Luis.